Temu does not feel like normal shopping. Normal shopping starts with a need. You need a charger, you need socks, you need something for the kitchen. So you search, compare, buy, and leave. Temu is built around a different idea. It does not wait for you to know what you want. It puts you inside a machine where everything feels cheap, temporary, urgent, and oddly hard to stop looking at. A $5 gadget, a $2 accessory, a countdown timer, a coupon wheel, a mystery discount, a feed that keeps changing. The genius of Temu is not just that the prices are low. The genius is that the app turns low prices into a feeling, and that feeling is powerful. Because when something feels almost free, your brain stops asking the normal question. It stops asking, do I need this? It starts asking, why not? That is the hidden playbook. Temu did not simply build a discount store on your phone. It built a shopping environment where every screen pushes you toward one more tap, one more scroll, one more item, one more little decision that does not feel serious enough to resist. And once you understand that, Temu starts to look less like a store, starts to look like a behavioral engine. The first layer is price shock. Temu's entire brand is built around the feeling that the normal rules of pricing have been broken. You open the app and see products that look impossibly cheap, not just discounted and almost unreal. That matters because price is not only information, price is emotion. When a product costs $80, your brain slows down. You compare, you question quality, you ask if the purchase is worth it. But when a product costs $3, the mental math changes. The decision feels smaller, the risk feels smaller, the regret feels smaller. That is why ultra low pricing can be so effective. It lowers the emotional friction of buying. You may not trust the product completely. You may not even expect it to be amazing. But at that price, you feel like the experiment is cheap. And when shopping becomes an experiment, the platform wins because the more you browse, the more chances it has to convert curiosity into an order. This is where Temu's parent company matters. Temu is operated by Whale Co. and owned by PDD Holdings, the company behind Pinduoduo. In PDD's 2025 annual report, the company describes Pinduoduo and Temu as platforms that use competitive pricing and fun, interactive shopping experiences to attract, engage, and retain buyers and merchants. That phrase is important. Attract, engage, retain. That is not just retail language, that is platform language. Temu is not only trying to sell you one item, it is trying to keep you inside the shopping loop. The second layer is gamification. This is where Temu stops feeling like Amazon and starts feeling more like a mobile game. Instead of a clean catalog, the app often uses spinning wheels, coupons, rewards, timed offers, daily deals, and progress style incentives. Every interaction creates a sense that something is about to happen. You might unlock a discount, you might miss a deal, you might get free shipping, you might be one step away from a better offer. The point is not only the reward, the point is the anticipation. Humans are highly responsive to variable rewards. When a reward feels uncertain, the brain pays attention. That is why games, slot machines, social media feeds, and shopping apps can all borrow from the same behavioral pattern. You do something small. The system gives you a possible reward, so you do it again and again. Temu's critics and regulators have noticed this. In October 2024, the European Commission opened formal proceedings against Temu under the Digital Services Act. One of the areas the Commission said it would examine was the risk linked to potentially addictive design, including game-like reward programs. In a separate consumer protection action, European authorities also pointed to practices they described as forced gamification, including a spin-the-wheel experience that consumers had to engage with to access the marketplace, while important conditions were allegedly hidden. That does not mean every game-like feature is illegal, but it does show why regulators are paying attention, because shopping is no longer just a transaction. It is becoming an interface designed to shape behavior. The third layer is urgency. Temu understands that cheap is stronger when it feels temporary. A low price is interesting. A low price that might disappear is harder to ignore. This is why shopping apps use countdowns, limited time labels, flash deals, stock warnings, and aggressive discounts. Urgency changes the decision. Instead of asking, do I actually want this? The user starts asking, will I lose this if I wait? That is a very different mental state. It turns shopping from evaluation into reaction. The European Consumer Protection Network specifically identified pressure selling as one of the practices it assessed against Temu. The concern was that consumers could be pushed to complete purchases with tactics like limited supply claims or purchase deadlines. Again, the important word is assessed. These are regulatory allegations and investigations, not a final verdict on every screen inside the app. But for this story, the deeper point is clear. Urgency is not decoration. Urgency is a conversion tool. The fourth layer is the endless feed. Traditional shopping has an endpoint. You walk into a store, move through the aisles, check out, and leave. Temu's interface works more like social media. There is always another product, another deal, another recommendation, another category you did not plan to browse. And this matters because the feed turns shopping into discovery. You are no longer just looking for a product. You are looking for surprise. That surprise can be entertaining even when you do not buy anything. But the longer you stay, the more data the platform gets about what slows your thumb down, what colors you respond to, what categories pull you in, what price points make you pause, what products you almost buy. The recommendation system learns from your hesitation. That is why the European Commission's DSA investigation also included Temu's recommender systems. The Commission said it would look at how Temu recommends products to users, including requirements around disclosing the main parameters of recommender systems and offering an option that is not based on profiling. This is the modern shopping problem. The store is not static anymore. It changes around you. The fifth layer is marketplace distance. Temu is not simply a traditional retailer buying inventory, putting it on shelves, and selling it to you. It is a marketplace connecting consumers with third-party merchants. PDD's annual report says its platforms enable merchants to provide product listings for buyers to browse and order, and that its revenues primarily come from transaction services and online marketing services provided to third-party merchants. That business model creates scale. Lots of sellers, lots of listings, lots of price competition, but it also creates a trust problem. When a marketplace becomes massive, the question is not only, can it show me cheap products? The question is, can it show me who is selling this, whether the product is safe, and what happens if something goes wrong? That is where U.S. regulators stepped in. In September 2025, the Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice announced that Temu would pay a $2 million civil penalty to resolve allegations under the Informed Consumers Act. The issue was not whether every product was bad. The issue was whether consumers were being given required information and tools to identify, contact, and report high-volume third-party sellers. The FTC also said Temu failed for a period to provide required reporting mechanisms in some gamified shopping experiences. That detail matters because it connects the psychology to the marketplace structure. If a product is sold inside a game-like shopping flow, the consumer still needs the same basic protections. The discount cannot become so exciting that the seller becomes invisible. And this is where the whole Temu story becomes bigger than Temu, because Temu is part of a much larger shift in internet commerce. Shopping used to be a category. Now shopping is becoming content. Products are discovered like videos. Deals are packaged like entertainment. Coupons feel like achievements. Recommendations feel like a feed. And the checkout page becomes the end of a game the user did not realize they were playing. This is not happening because people became irrational overnight. It is happening because the interface got smarter. It learned how to reduce friction. It learned how to make small purchases feel harmless. It learned how to use urgency without always feeling urgent. It learned how to make the next item feel like a reward. That is why Temu is such a useful case study. It shows where online shopping is going, not toward better catalogs, toward more persuasive environments. The danger is not that every cheap product is a scam. Plenty of people use Temu because they genuinely want affordable goods. The danger is that the app can make buying feel less like a decision and more like a reflex. And once buying becomes a reflex, the consumer has to work harder to stay in control. So the real question is not, why is Temu so cheap? That is only the surface. The better question is, why does cheap feel so hard to resist? Because Temu does not only sell products, it sells the feeling that you are beating the system. You found the hidden deal, you unlocked the coupon, you got the thing before the timer ran out. You won, but the platform is built so that the winning feeling brings you back. That is the hidden playbook. Make the price feel impossible. Make the reward feel random. Make the deal feel temporary. Make the feed feel endless. Make the seller feel distant. And make the user feel like one more tap is not a real decision. Temu did not invent all of these tactics, but it combined them into one of the clearest examples of where digital shopping is headed. A store that behaves like a feed that behaves like a game, and a game where the prize is always one more thing you did not know you wanted. The next time an app makes something feel too cheap to ignore, pause for 1 second. That pause is the part the machine is trying to remove. And the craziest part is that Temu may only be the beginning.